All right, guys, today we are going to check out one of the most versatile overdrive pedals I've ever played through, and it's made by one of my favorite amp builders, Redseven. It's called the Alkemy Overdrive. Let's get started. All right, well, thanks for joining me for today's video, and Redseven was kind enough to send me this pedal. And I'm going to check it out with you guys today. I had a few minutes to dial it in and just mess with it real quick and just kind of familiarize myself with the knobs and switches before I rolled cameras here, you know, because I didn't want to make a bigger fool out of myself than I usually do. So I'm slightly familiar with it, and we're just going to turn the knobs and see what it does. We're going to start on is the clean channel on the EVH Stealth. I do it on the clean channel on the Redseven Leviathan, but it doesn't have one. So I will run it through the Redseven Leviathan in a minute here, but first let's start with the clean channel just to see exactly what's going on here with the different modes and knobs and switches on this. I like to do that because you really do get to see a transparent version of what a pedal does, you know, without all that gain, you know. Trust me, we're going to get to the gains though. So basically what you have here, you have a drive section and you also have a boost. So this knob here is associated with the boost, and every knob and switch here are associated with the drive section. So basically you get an overdrive and a clean boost. And so you get, you know, best of both worlds with this pedal, and you can combine them as well if you want. So let's start with the drive section now, and as you can see, I have the level all the way up because that's pretty much how we do it. You have different modes here. You know, you have a softer mode, I believe. I'm trying to read this. Lighting's really bad here. You have normal and fat. So let's just see what this sounds like in the different modes, and you're going to be surprised at what this pedal's capable of. So let's fire up the old Stealth now and see what it'll do with the clean channel. Okay, so right away I'm noticing the normal mode is quite a bit, you know, less aggressive than the fat mode. So let's switch between those again and show you the difference. I'll turn the pedal on and off in the different modes so you can hear what they do. All right, so right away, yeah, you have some versatility there. So if you have an amp that's super aggressive maybe and you don't want so much, you know, push into the front end with the drive section, you can put it on normal. And if you want all the stuff, put it on fat. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and mess around with this further. Let's see what the boost side does now. That is a lot of headroom with that, so that's really cool. So you have a lot of dBs of boost there, and again, you can combine those. So let's see what happens when we combine these. Let's just full tilt this sucker. Let's just see how much push we're going to get from these combined. Wow, that's a lot getting shoved into the front end of this amp. All right, so that's cool. So let me just mess with the switches while this is kind of full tilt here. I'll just screw around with some things and see what it does. All right, so with the tone knob, you're definitely going to get some really nice edge with it, and it brightens it up and gives it a lot more aggression and attack. So I can only imagine how good that's going to sound as soon as we engage the gain channel on the EVH, and then again we will switch over to the Redseven Leviathan in a minute here. I just want to show you what it sounds like again on a clean channel and on two different amplifiers, and just see how versatile it is. All right, so now let's go ahead and switch to the blue channel on the EVH Stealth. And so I got the gain cranked pretty high on the blue channel. That's not the highest gain channel on that amplifier, but let's see how this thing interacts with that. Let me turn it off and turn it back on while I'm playing. Okay, so in that mode with it on normal, I found it to be not as aggressive as I want, so let's go ahead and mess around with this pedal and dial it in a little further. So when you crank the tone knob, that's when all that edge and attack and aggression comes in. I'm really digging this right now, so let me screw around with it some more. All right, so we're getting really aggressive here. This sounds freaking awesome. Now let's see what happens when I combine the drive section with the boost section. Lots of freaking versatility there, lots of great choices. So depending on your pickups, like some people have weaker pickups, you know, less output. So depending on the type of pickups that you have or how much gain you have in your amplifier or whatever, This pedal will pretty much adjust for all of those things, whether you want to combine the boost side with the drive side or not. And if you want to, what I like too, let me switch back here, is you can feather in as much boost as you want. You can just have a little bit if you want a little more fullness. And the thing that I like too, I like big fat sounding amps that are super aggressive. And sometimes with different overdrive pedals, what happens is you kick them on and they suck so much low end out of the amplifier, it just sounds really chopped and it sounds like it's starving for air, you know? And that's not the case with this pedal. It pretty much remains really transparent for the most part, especially if you leave the tone knob in the middle. But if you want that really aggressive sound, just crank the tone knob all the way up and it'll add that little extra edge to the amp, but it still maintains this really big, fat, beefy sound. I mean, it's ridiculous. I had to check to make sure I wasn't clipping on my interface over there because the amp just remained so big and full. I mean, this is really cool. Let me try one more experiment with it. The thing is the blue channel on the EVH is very good. I love it, but the red channel is super aggressive. Let's see how this acts with a super aggressive channel and see if it's too much or if it's flexible enough to dial in with a really aggressive channel and still be usable. All right, so now we are on the red channel, and you guys know about the Easter eggs on this amp, so I got the gain on the blue channel down to 11 o'clock. Otherwise, it just gets outrageous over there. So red channel on the EVH Stealth. Let's go. Holy shit. I'm serious, guys. This pedal is really impressing the crap out of me right now. Very versatile. A lot of times what I find with the EVH Stealth Red channel, even when you set it up really, really nice with the Easter eggs and everything, some pedals just don't agree with that amplifier. It gets overly aggressive, but because this pedal has this tone knob dialed the way or voiced the way that it is, you can really fine tune it with this amplifier and not get too aggressive. Let me play around with this knob again, and between this knob and the drive or the level knob, you can really fine tune it and take some of that overly aggressive stuff out of it and really make it sound awesome. See how that has a little too much aggression and bite to it? So let me back that off a little and see what we get. Dude, that's freaking sick. I don't think I did the boost combined with the drive yet. I think I got the drive section dialed in really well. So let me switch to the boost section and then we'll combine them. Yeah, you definitely don't need both of these, you know, both sections of this pedal on with the red channel, but at least they're there if you do need them. Honestly, I think the way I have the drive section set up on this pedal works really well with the red channel on the EVH, but also I think just with the boost alone, because that amp is so freaking aggressive, the boost alone would be fine as well, you know? And the thing that's cool about this pedal as well is if you got a really nice tight, you know, very percussive amplifier and you combine it with the drive section on this, it really makes it tight and aggressive. But then you want something a little more liquidy for leads, you can tap on the boost section and combine them and it fills it up and it gives you that really nice fullness, and your notes are a little more glued together, and it feels great to play as well. So that's actually something to think about. So one drive pedal that works great, a real tight aggressive rhythm channel, and then you combine them and you got this really liquidy lead channel. So the possibilities are kind of endless with this pedal. They're really, really good. So now let's switch over to the Redseven Leviathan real quick and see what we got. I'm on, what channel? I'm on the second channel, the real hot channel on it. So let's see how this pedal interacts with that amp now. Yeah, that second channel is really tight and percussive on the Leviathan. So here's a good example of how versatile this pedal is. Let's see if we can dial it in for this amp. Wow, that is super tight, articulate, and aggressive. That sounds really freaking good. And on this particular amplifier, I had it on, I guess it's the normal mode. It's hard to read in here with the shadows and the lighting, but it's not even on the fat mode. So let's see what happens when we switch to fat mode. All right, so in fat mode, I had to back the knobs down a little bit. This thing's got a lot of freaking headroom in it, especially with the tone and level and boost knobs. There's just tons of headroom. You know, I mean, the thing is traditionally we just crank the level all the way up on most of our overdrives, but on this one, depending on the amplifier, pickups, you know, all the stuff, you might want to back it off. So don't like get this pedal and crank it all the way up and go, and it's too much and be like, oh, this pedal doesn't work for me. No, you turn it down. This is one of the few overdrives out there that you can actually turn the level down on, and it actually benefits the amplifier because you don't want to push amplifiers too hard. Sometimes they clip on the front end, or they just get overly saturated, over aggressive, and you just have to back the pedal off. The thing that I like though, I always would rather have too much of something than not enough. So when you have too much of, you know, aggression or whatever with this pedal, like I said, just back it off a little. That's flexibility, you know? I mean, that's freaking awesome. So real quick before we go, let's see how channel 2 on the Redseven Leviathan interacts with the boost side of the pedal. Very nice, very articulate. So depending on your taste, you'll like one of these sides of this pedal over the other, or you'll want to combine them depending on, you know, many different factors. But I really like this. This is like definitely two pedals in one, but the flexibility that it gives you, it's covering the array of probably 10 different overdrive pedals and voicings and stuff that's out there. So you know, I highly recommend this pedal. I really think it's good. And yes, Redseven sent it to me. I'm not I'm not trying to push something on you because I got a pedal. But what I am saying is this is a really freaking good pedal. And you'll be seeing me playing with this more in my live streams and in different videos. I'm definitely going to put this on my pedal board because I think it's freaking awesome. I'm dog sitting for Carrie, you know, right now, so her dog's upstairs yelping away, so that's what you're hearing in the background. But maybe he likes it too. We'll see. But anyways, awesome freaking pedal. I love flexibility. I love options. I love buying things that I can use with multiple different pieces of gear, and they're not so pigeonholed, you know. So definitely a great pedal, and Redseven is an awesome company. I mean, their amplifiers are disgustingly good. They're so good. It's one of my favorite amps. I mean, every time I play through my Leviathan, I love it. I just think it's so freaking good. So whether you have a super aggressive amplifier or something that really needs a good kick in the ass, I mean, I think this pedal's really going to work for you. I know if you turn the knobs for a few minutes with it, you'll find really good settings with this pedal, and I'm telling you, there's magic in them knobs. There really is. And this is my first time dialing it in, honestly. Like I said, before the video started, I just tweaked the knobs a little bit just to get to know the pedal, and I'm really surprised at how good this pedal is. Well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And to all my subscribers and Patreon supporters, thank you so much. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I come out with a new episode or go live. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.